Welcome to Back at Home Fredericton. I'm Kerstin Schlote. In this program, we take a close look at student hunger in local schools. Hunger is not only a third world problem, it's happened here at home. But thanks to the Fredericton Community Kitchen and the support of many others, there's hope that this problem can be solved. We begin at Leo Hayes High School and the Feed the Lions program.
Hey, you need a lunch?
There is no average profile. Each one of them has their own individual case. They are just like you, they are like me, they're like every other student. This could be anyone's reality.
I was really shocked to see who was coming and how many people were needing a lunch. I mean, you never really know everyone's situation, and I didn't really know personally a lot of the kids that were coming to us.
Generally what we see, they're often hungry due to no fault of their own.
I mean, I imagine having to deal with that kind of stuff at home and not even having a lunch and not even be able to eat from no fault of your own.
Have a good day.
I think it's pretty cool, honestly, because most days I don't come out with lunches and stuff, so it's pretty nice to eat at school. Well, it's a big issue in our house because we just don't have the money for food and stuff, so we usually go without lunch and breakfast and stuff, so it's pretty nice actually eating.
Well, I've been through a lot of situations, been kicked out of places and stuff like that, and it was hard to get times, and the school really helped with that.
Before I had the lunches, I was usually tired and stuff, and I couldn't focus. And, yeah.
It feels really good, and you get to go through the day better.
It's improved my life because I have more energy, so I can focus. I can do more stuff with my friends, and sports are a lot easier too.
In class and stuff, it helps me stay awake, for instance, and I get a lot more work done. Yeah, there's a lot less worry. I don't have to worry during school if I have something to eat or not, and it really helps.
I started to recognize some of the students were digging through the garbage. They were starting to go through these, and I really couldn't fathom it. I thought, here we are in a big school like this, the capital city, and I must be wrong. Anyways, unfortunately, I wasn't wrong.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
When students come to school hungry, they have lower abilities to concentrate. They are they have a much harder time socializing with their peers because they're much more worried about the fact that there's nothing in their house to eat, or they haven't been able to get something healthy to eat for that day. It's a lot more difficult for them to focus in class. That young fella couch surfs a lot, and he doesn't have much food at home, and we feed him every day.
Well, if makes it next to impossible to concentrate on anything other than your stomach. So how do you concentrate on learning? They don't have the energy to participate mentally or physically in the activities that we're doing. So we all know as educators, you have to have your basic needs met before you can teach a student. And quite frankly, what I do as a teacher is irrelevant unless the student is fed.
Doesn't matter what class you're in or how interested you are in the subject. If you haven't had a good healthy snack in a while, or breakfast in the morning, or a nice healthy lunch or supper with your family, your ability to think and concentrate about what the teacher is saying is really reduced.
So I tried to help best I could, and unbeknownst to teachers, because they were in their classrooms with the kids, and they were trying to keep kids focused, but whereas I was out on the floor. Anyways, I started to pick up good fruit that was left behind, apples, and I'd wash them, granola bars. They eventually got to know I had a treat or some kind of food for them in there. Brought from a good friend of mine, neighbor. So we tried to help as best we could, but it just simply wasn't enough. There was too many kids. So Then other students here recognized what I was doing, and they'd start beautiful fruit and granola bars, crackers and stuff on the tables, knowing very well that I would take that for the kids. It just seemed to get progressively worse, and there was more kids and more kids and more kids coming, and I just couldn't provide all that much. I didn't have all that much to give to them from tables because it was getting bigger and bigger. Then this breakfast program came in with Gwen, our health nurse here, and I helped her with the breakfast program to pass out food. 3 or 4 particular boys that I remember took sandwiches, fruit from the garbage, went through bags under the stairwell on the, for just anything they could find to put something in their bellies.
Hi. Have a good day. Hello. You're welcome. Hi.
Now we're very much ahead of that game, but it seemed at the time the other students were oblivious to what the hungry students were doing. And now everyone's aware, and they help. Everyone seems to want to help.
We decided to start the program because there was a need, and the need was growing more and more over time, and we were more and more students without access to any food. And quite simply, when you see students that have no food, it becomes the most important thing. How can we possibly teach them? How can they possibly learn if their basic needs are not being met? So when it was quite clear the size of the problem, we knew we needed a global solution for the school.
She and I sat down and said, listen, there's just no way we don't have a concerted effort together that we can't get this going the right way so that these kids have at least a chance to have food in their tummies.
She told me she was aware of about 60 students that lacked access to any food. And while I was speaking with her in her office, there was a steady stream of thin, hungry students knocking on the door, asking her if she might, by chance, have something for them to eat.
So next year that we met, and that was all last year, we developed a partnership with the Fredericton Community Kitchen.
She came up to me and said, look, we got this situation at the school. We got a lot of kids coming in hungry, and gave some examples. And when you hear stuff like that, you're shocked, then you get mad, you're sad, everything. Then you realize you got to do something. She asked me about this because she knew I was on the board of directors for the Fredericton Community Kitchen. This is a situation we've really got to get involved. We've got to do something.
They made a full partnership with us and asked, how can we help, and joined right in. We wanted a brown bag lunch program because the students often requested or expressed a desire to have a brown bag lunch, just like everybody else. And the executive director almost right away secured $15,600 worth of funding from 100 Women Who Care to get the program off its feet.
So when kids come to the school from households that have low incomes or have low ability to access services, they really tend to have challenges in a lot of different areas. So for example, they would have low energy levels, they would have difficulty concentrating, focusing on items in class.
There was students who would come forward, and then she would supply them with a piece of fruit. They would pack it away in their backpack, and she'd say, no honey, hungry, you eat that. And they would say, yes, I'm hungry, but my little sister's at home and she's hungry as well, and I'm going to take this to her. So it drove home the point that not only do we have hungry students, we have hungry families.
We return to back at home Fredericton. In this part of the show, we're at the Fredericton Community Kitchen, where several dedicated volunteers are helping their fellow students by preparing lunch. And we will see what it feeds nearly 200 students.
We're going to get 120 juice packs. So you can just count them out there. Yep, you got it. But if you set them up like this, you'll get a lot more in. We're going to take the juice boxes, we're going to put one in each bag on the bottom so they don't squish any of the other food that we put in there.
So we're making 120 lunches for Leo Hayes.
The students from Leo Hayes are always connected, involved. They enjoy doing the program, and it just takes a little organ. And if you organize them in groups, they will work very well together. So we'll take this off. We're going to get it over in the spray sink. Watch that blade, it's very sharp. We're going to sit it in the plastic there.
I was cutting tomatoes. I washed the tomatoes, lettuce. I took the lunches that people had, the sandwiches, and I put them in all the bags and wrapped them all up and sorted them and put them in the boxes.
Chicken salad, scoop it, we're going to wrap the sandwiches, and just like that, it'll be a done deal.
It makes me feel really good knowing that I'm helping everyone that I go to school with and people that don't have food. It's just such an awesome, heartwarming experience, I guess.
The relationship we're trying to build with each of the schools is one that it's really a partnership. So we may be healthy meals to each of those schools, but on the other hand, we really want to develop that sense where the kids are giving back. So when the kids from Leo Hayes are here or from other middle schools are here, really that's an opportunity for them to participate in the partnership, which really is growing this entire program. So for us, it's one of the key results we were really looking for.
And then when we get them all cut and ready to go, we're going to take them in there and then we're going to mix up some stuff for some sandwiches.
This is the sandwich chain gang. Well, all of us were just making sandwiches, making lunches, putting juice boxes in the lunch bags, and we were bringing them to the school so kids that don't have lunches and don't have enough for food or don't have any food in their cupboards at home will have food at school and be nourished.
Because you don't really realize like how many people are going without lunches, and if you don't have food at all and you're focused on how hungry you are, you're not going to excel in school.
How do you learn without food? I don't think I could concentrate on learning if I didn't eat every morning, every afternoon.
We're going to take these, we're going to cut them in half, we're going to wrap them in saran wrap. That'll be the dessert going in these today.
We've been giving them sandwiches, fruits, even a little dessert. We're giving them juices.
Hi Eve. Hi. Welcome. You got your hands all set, your hair nets?
It was a great experience. Like Arlene, she's like, okay, this is your job, you need to, and that's what I did.
Okay, how are my tomato ladies doing? Awesome.
Because I absolutely love to help out. I absolutely love to know that I'm making a difference in my community and that the kids at my school are getting all the stuff that they need to a healthy lifestyle. It is disturbing, and especially I've handed out the lunches, but every other day. I did it last year too, and it was such an eye-opener to see, like, normal kids, you would have never guessed that they were going through anything at home, and you see them coming to you, and it's a real eye.
It takes 10 volunteers a day at the kitchen to prepare the lunches, so 5 days a week. It takes an incredible amount of money. If you look at it just for school alone, where we have 120 lunches a day being provided to us, if we round that off at $2 a lunch, you're looking at a tremendous amount of money over the period of a year. There's 180 teach students in a year, so that's a tremendous, it exceeds $40,000 a year just for our school alone. It takes a full school commitment and community support as well.
Well, right from the beginning, the board and the executive got right involved. From, I believe it was in January, the first lunches rolled out. It was, I believe, 60 lunches. It was 2 days a week. And they were made at the kitchen, which there still are, and delivered. It's morphed into something else. It was one school, which was Leo Hayes High School, and now it's 6 schools involved with approximately 100 lunches per day, 5 days a week.
And that was huge because that gave our school a partnership with somebody else outside the school that was able to help us access food. So I went from giving away fresh fruit and granola bars 4 times a day to giving healthy lunches. When we get stuff over from the Delta or stuff from the kitchen that needs work, they actually take care of it. And they have said in the last year that they have noticed the kids are more connected to the school, that there's a much more positive attitude, and that the biggest thing I notice is the kids are much more likely to talk to them in the hallways, and that what they say now is that we have really started to develop a school that is finally working as a community.
When you hand out the lunches, you're not really realizing like you don't take into consideration like how many people are actually going without lunches until they come.
Really nice just to know that they have a lunch now and that they're not going to go hungry.
These boxes are coming in, they're coming from our local co-op. They send us fruit and produce, which we gratefully accept because it then contributes to putting in the lunches. Now we can provide nutritious lunches. And teachers are saying that the children's ability to learn is growing. Their attention spans are growing. You're not sitting there constantly thinking, gosh, I'm hungry. Gee, I wish I had something to eat. There's enough food. And as we expand, there are numerous schools that we're not in yet. There's still numerous locations that we have not gotten to yet that we would love to be in. But it takes a lot of sponsors, a lot of donations, a lot of sponsorship to grow that big.
Well, we wouldn't be able to do Feed the Lions without the community kitchen. There's no way that we could make all these lunches just in our culinary tech class at school. Like, without the community kitchen, we wouldn't have Feed the Lions. So it's absolutely amazing what the people here are doing for us.
Are you taking off?
It's sad, but I'm glad that we're helping out and not leaving it to go on forever, because when you don't have a lunch, you don't feel like learning, you're hungry, and that's all you can do.
I never had that kind of feeling, so I don't know how it would feel. I just wish that everyone could have food to eat at lunch.
You can put one in the back seat too.
I knew about the community kitchen before coming to this program, but I had no idea the impact that they were making on this program at all. Like, they just do so much for us, and like we wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't. And we started out at like 90 lunches, then we went to 100 lunches, and the fact that we're now at 120 lunches and the community kitchen is still helping provide them for us is just amazing.
I've never had to, but the thought that people at school and you don't know who's dealing with that, it's really scary.
Oh, I think it's wonderful. I mean, it's if kids go to school and they don't have anything to, for whatever reason, whether there's no food or they didn't have time, it really helps them to be able to perform better at school when they're nourished, and it's one less thing that they have to worry about.
Just knowing that they're going to be enjoying these lunches, and even their younger siblings will be somewhat enjoying these lunches as well, because people will bring these back to home and share their food, because the whole family doesn't have food when one child doesn't have food. So really good.
Back at home, Fredericton. In this part of the show, we learn how vital the Fredericton Community Kitchen is to the region. The organization receives no funding from governments and relies on the support of groups and many dedicated volunteers. We'll see how this helps hungry students.
This is a lunch bag that we made to symbolize the 1,472 school lunch boxes that we've created for the community kitchen. We've raised about $3,500 to purchase all this food.
Very, very important, because without the support of the food donations that are coming in, we would not be able to do the lunch program.
Get in the line.
We would struggle to provide food here for our people that come through the doors. With the food donations that come in, we turn it into a program, we turn it into feeding clients, we turn it into outreach on the north side, to John Howard, to Chrisla's house. So we feed many locations, but without the food donations coming in, we'd have to cut back on where we could send food.
To keep this program running, it's basic dollars and cents, because we have to have sustainability. $2 a day per lunch times 183, and no doubt it'll grow. That takes a lot of money as a product, and in order for us to do that, we have to have funds, we have to monetary or food donation.
Oh, that's a heavy one.
Awesome. Well, it's not just the community kitchen. One of our corporate mandates is to give back to the community that we live as part of our United Way strategy, talking about the lunch program, and it was a great opportunity for us to give back, engage all 500 plus of our employees. It's important for us to give back to give as much information to any of their associations as possible.
Thank you so much. Awesome.
It's unbelievable because you've brought everything from the brown paper bag to the plastic bag to the canned meat.
And we went out probably right after 30 minutes. There was a whole band of communication going out to the building, going, okay, what can we do to help them? And then the challenge went out for upwards of 1,500 lunches, and to have 1,500 lunches to pass over the next 2 weeks.
This will provide us 3 weeks of unbelievable school lunches for children.
This is one time where we would like to see other businesses in Fredericton rise to the challenge. We have 1,500 lunches here, so let's see how many more businesses can do the 1,500, and let's see if there's a few businesses out there that can go beyond the 1,500, because it's all about the kids and, you know, having that great start to their day and having those lunches.
I think UPS has thrown down the gauntlet as far as corporate challenge, if you will, that other corporations in the city meet or exceed the UPS donation today, which was really the equivalent of about $3,500 in food to help hungry students. And I think if we could throw down the gauntlet and have other organizations and corporate citizens help us out, we can ensure that the sustainability of this program is intact and that we can feed hungry kids all the way through the school year, and that's our goal right now.
All of this food was donated, so it's not a question we were looking for donation. Each employee brought in X amount of items to put with these lunches, so it's a great way to give back. The Community Kitchen provides so much service to the greater Fredericton area, and it's easy to become involved in something like this.
It's exciting for us to be able to address a problem like student hunger in the community, but it's also a little bit depressing that the problem is as large as we're finding. The biggest challenge is that right now, putting out 183 meals a day, from our sense, that number is only going to grow as schools become more comfortable with our program and kids become more comfortable in accepting meals from us. So our real challenge is, in the long term, how do we sustain this? If it's 183 meals today, we've got a lot of groups giving us support today. But if we're going to be doing this 2 years down the road, 4 years down, how do we ensure that we can sustain that over that time? Because once we make a commitment to a school and the group of students that are there, we never want to pull back. We're committed and we want to stay there. So our challenge is, how do we ensure that we're still here, 5 years, 7 years down the road with the ability to do this?
Have a good day, guys. Hello.
Thank you. Well, I'd like to thank the whole school for helping us out with food and and it's really great.
Hello. Hey. You're welcome.
It's unbelievable how far we have come, and the involvement itself, and how many people and students that have received the lunch program will come and say, how can I help? I want to pay back. It has come a long, long way, and we're not finished yet. We've just begun. But I can leave after every day feeling a little bit better. It makes me feel good to think I was a little part of feeding the students.
I would like to say to them, thank you for caring about us and stuff and giving us food and all that.